Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last several years, we have been featuring Les Filles Mariées and Les Filles du Roi. And we are definitely approaching a milestone. We're on episode 248 of Les Filles du Roi. So 250, oh my goodness. I'm not halfway there, but almost. So I should calculate that actually. But before we begin, let me show you ways that you can support the channel. The first three are subscribe, which you click on the little link to say subscribe. Like means you like this particular video, which helps my logarithms and getting my video feed. And then notify means that you get notified as soon as I post new content. The next couple of ways are ways to help the channel grow, which is Ko-fi and Patreon, which are external platforms where you can contribute. And you can also contribute through the PayPal button on my Have Roots Will Travel website. By the way, on the Have Roots Will Travel is where you will find the index. So if you want to find past episodes, they're there as well. And you also have on the YouTube channel an actual little button that you can click super thanks and do that way as well. So with that being said, let's get started and explore our Filles du Roi, episode 248. Today we're going to be looking at episode 248, Marie Gaillard du Plessis. And she comes to us from a viewer request. I don't have her in my files, so it was really a pleasure to get to know Marie. She was born in 1647. Now, in all of the books that I have read, it says Clermont de Sainte-Croix, the Archdiocese of Rouen. So I know it's in the Rouen area. I know that it is in the Seine-Maritime region of Normandy, or the département. But for the life of me, I could not find Clermont. So please, if anyone out there knows where Clermont de Sainte-Croix is, please let me know. For now, I have taken it to mean Sainte-Croix-sur-Boucher, and that is the only Sainte-Croix that I could find in that area. Did not find any Clermonts that could relate. So, and the church of Saint-Médard and Godard dates from the 12th century. So this is a picture of that 12th century, and this is a picture of Le Sainte-Croix-sur-Boucher. And her parents were Pierre Gaillard, that I know, and Marie Martin. Now, it is either Marie Martin or Marie Dyer. So we're not 100% sure of a lot of things. So I really spent a lot of time trying to track this down, and I was not as successful as I wanted to be. So please let me know any corrections I need to make. Her father passes away. She comes to New France, carrying with her a dowry worth about 200 pounds. She arrives in Quebec on June 30th, 1669, aboard Le Jean-Baptiste. The groom that she selects and who selects her, his name was Jean-Baptiste Perrier de Lafleur. He was born in 1641 in Pau, France. His parents were Jean Perrier and Marie Dervier. Now, Pau is a place that has been occupied since at least the Gallo-Roman era. We hear references to it really at the beginning of the 12th century, and the town developed from the construction of the castle, likely built around the 11th century, which was at a strategic point, providing access to the Béarn Valley and to Spain. You'll note that although it is found in Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, it's at the very bottom, the Pyrénées-Atlantiques département. So that is kind of like really far down and as close to Spain as you can possibly get. The Church of Saint-Martin was first built between 1468 and 1472. It sat at the opposite of the castle that had been built. In the 19th century, the church was decided that it was too small, and it was demolished in 1885. It was replaced by a new church that you see up on your upper left of your screen. Pau has a population, 75,000 people. It's not a small little place, as we have seen so many other times before. So this is the area of France that Jean-Baptiste would come from. Jean-Baptiste would come to New France, as so many did before him, as a member of the Carignan-Salient regiment, and he would arrive in New France on the 30th of June, 1665, with La Brisandière Company. He was actually a master weaver as well. So once his military duties were done, he elected to remain in the colony. And in 1666 census, he can be found as a domestic servant in the home of Jeannot and Marie Bonhomme. So let's have a look at when they married, when Jean-Baptiste would marry our Marie. After 4 years in the colony, he would have built up enough equity to at least provide for a wife. And so it came to be that at Quebec City on October 6th, 1669, they were married. Family would settle in Beauport, which of course means beautiful port. In 1634, Robert Clifford received the seigneury of Beauport from the Company of 100 Associates. By 1698, 444 French colonists had settled just east of the river Beauport and they were attracted by the flour mill and the agricultural land. So it took quite a bit of time for Beauport to kind of evolve, if you will. Children. Marthe would marry Jean Charlebois and have 6 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Marie would then marry Guillaume Loret and have 2 children, but unfortunately neither of those lived to adulthood. She then married Jean Brunet and had 7 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Jacques would marry Marguerite Paris and have 6 children, 5 of whom would make it to adulthood. Madeleine would marry Pierre Sabourin and have 7 children, 5 of whom would make it to adulthood. She then married René Fortin and had 2 more children, both of whom made it to adulthood. Marguerite would marry Jacques Domelet and had 5 children, 4 of whom would make it to adulthood. And we do not know anything about François Madeleine. Yes, that is a gentleman. He may have become a coureur de bois, a voyageur. He may have died in infancy. We just don't know. Now, in the 1681 census, we have Jean Perrier, we have Marie Gaillard, his wife, we have their children, Marie and Marthe. You can see that Marie and Marthe are confirmed to be twins. Jacques, Madeleine, Marguerite, and François, who was 2 months old, and they have 1 gun. It doesn't look like there's any land. Don't know why that is, so we'll keep looking. So Jean-Baptiste would die very suddenly between that 1681 census and 1682, approximately 40 years of age. Just a very sad event, and they would have been married probably about 12 years at that point, so a short marriage to be sure. As always in New France, when one man dies, there's another that will arrive. So her second husband, his name was Jean Sabourin, and he was born in 1641 in a small commune called Montalembert in France. His parents were Jean Sabourin and Etienne Joanneau. Now, he is from the same region as Jean-Baptiste, Marie's first husband, but he is from the upper part of it, Du Sèvres, which is in the most northern part of Nouvelle-Aquitaine, where Jean-Baptiste was in the most southern part. So I find that really interesting. And there's only about 304 people who live in this small commune, and really the church is the main attraction. The Church of Montalembert is dedicated to the Pope, Saint Sylvester, who was a pope from 314 to 335. And this church has withstood the test of time from the 11th century, I believe it is when it was built. So truly you can see how magnificent it is and just a slice of history. Jean would have been married before. He would have immigrated with his wife, Matrin Renaud, and their young son, who was 3 years old at the time, in 1669. and they would go on to have 5 more children before her early death. That would mean that the household of Marie and Jean would become 6 and 6, a dozen children that they would be taking care of. So needless to say, they did not have any more children of their own. But they were married on September 22nd, 1682 at Beauport. I'm not really sure why they moved to Lachine. It was unusual to go from Quebec to Montreal during that time, but there we have it. Let's talk a little bit about Lachine. The original owner of Lachine was Robert Cavelier de la Salle. His mission was to cultivate and colonize this area. Unfortunately, he didn't succeed as he was too focused on trying to find the passage to Asia. This area was originally named Saint-Sulpice, but the area was renamed Lachine as a kind of inside joke, Lachine meaning China. Even Jacques Cartier, 100 years before, had been trying to find that passageway and named the rapids themselves Lachine Rapids. Eventually, the Lachine Canal was completed in 1825, which was something the citizens and the merchants had long wanted. It became a way to navigate those treacherous rapids. At its peak, the Lachine Canal would have 15,000 ships using its canals. Jean would die at Point Claire in 1721. He was 80 years old. He and Marie would have been married 39 years. Marie herself would pass away at the incredible age of 1736 at Point Claire. She and her first husband would have 101 descendants as of 1729. She lived she was alive when they made the actual study of how many children were descendants of the original founding mothers. So I always think that's incredible. Here are some of the resources that I use. Obviously, La Société des Filles du Roi et Soldats du Carignan. I am a member. I'm also the membership chairperson. I have been with them for about 3 years now. And I also, before I joined even, I was using the Society's webpage and all the information that's there that even before you become a member, you can have a look at that. So I've provided the link. The Quebec Genealogical E-Society, another wonderful resource. We have Généalogie du Québec d'Amérique française, nos origines. Wikitree, more and more. I'm just amazed by it. I'm also a volunteer with them. Filles du Roi Descendants, a wonderful site that allows you to actually connect with people of like mind and also cousins. We have Généalogie Québec, which is probably the premier service. You need at one point for a month to at least pay yourself the luxury of having that. It's not that expensive, but if you're not doing it all the time, obviously. But definitely try it out. La Société d'Histoire des Filles du Roi is obviously a very, very good society, and they produce some amazing books that I use in my research. So I wanted to include them, and a shout out to them. Well, that was truly a story of a woman who is able to survive, and she was able to start off her new life in New France and marry, and then he dies. She will then start over, and then she ends up her life in Lachine. So she really has come from France to Quebec, to different parts of it, and then ends up with a new husband, life in Lachine. So that is truly a remarkable story of someone who just kept going, and we can really learn a lot from her example. So we want to thank her, and we want to bless her memory and say we are grateful you came to our shores and really endured and survived. Thank you so much. And thank you as well to my patron supporters and subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until I see you on episode 249, I will say au revoir until the next time.